Okay. Howdy everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we're partnering with IEEE to do one-on-one resume reviews. But before that, we have a small presentation on just some resume tips and tricks that we want to share with you all. Before we do that, since we'll be doing one-on-one reviews, we want you to go ahead and add yourself to the queue. You can either scan the QR code or you can go to this link and get yourself added to the queue, and we'll be going off of that and adding you to breakout rooms later after the presentation. And for people who will join later, or if you miss the link, don't worry, we'll have it back up again after the presentation. So I'm just going to leave it here for like a few seconds just so you can sign up. It will just ask for your name. It's pretty simple. So okay. So since this is a partnered event and we have two organizations present, I just want to talk a little bit about what DSC is. So as you can see on the slide, developer student clubs are university-based community groups for students interested in using Google developer technologies to help their local community. This is a global program run by Google, and currently there are 1,200 plus chapters around the world. So our main focus at A&M is to make projects which will help our local community, which in our case is the Bryan College Station community. And all the different events that we do are kind of centered around that bigger picture goal. So what kind of events do we have? So we do technical hands-on workshops about different skills, about different technologies, which you can then integrate into your projects. More often than not, we'll be bringing in guest speakers from the industry and also other DSCs at other universities, and they'll be talking about a particular tech stack or just kind of what they work on. And the third type of event is community building events like these, where people can come together and have one-on-one interaction. And we just want to foster a sense of community. So that is what we're aiming for. In terms of membership criteria, people from all majors and all class years are welcome to join. Even graduate and PhD students are welcome to join, and we don't have any membership dues. I also want to take a moment to talk about Think Tank, which is an exciting component of DSC. And you can imagine Think Tank as the Avengers of DSC. So a member of Think Tank is a person who has a lot of experience and is really passionate about a particular field, and that field can be anything. It can be from backend development or mobile app development to even marketing, business, finance, you name it. If you think that you have relevant experience and you want to help our projects tackle roadblocks whenever they face something related to that field, then you should definitely go ahead and apply. Some perks of being a think tank member is that you will be helping us create content and workshops. So for our technical hands-on workshops, and this will also be a great platform for you to give talks about whatever it is that you're passionate about. So if you are the expert in a particular field, you can give talks on that topic and just reach out to a larger audience and showcase your talent. In the end, we're all here to learn and have fun. So we'll definitely be having fun together. Make sure to apply at that link, text.ag/DSC Think Tank. If you're interested, we're actively accepting applications.
I would like to add on to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have not got any internship experience or are looking for an internship, this becomes like a really good asset on your resume. A lot of companies will be interested in just learning about this while interviewing, so it'll be a good chance of like getting to start talking with the company and showing off your skills, because it's about being part of something that helps some other people in accomplishing projects. So you're kind of working on multiple projects at the same time. Um, yeah, that was it. And by the way, I'm Shrey. I'm the head of the think tank, so like you will be working very closely with me. So there you go.
Okay. Very quickly, how to join DSC. So we have a Slack workspace set up where we post about all of our upcoming events, and we also make announcements about events that other DSCs are doing at other universities. So you can participate in those as well. And it's a great place to just network and meet your peers and get advice, get help, just, have fun. We also send out announcements through our mailing list. So there's the link. And we also have all of our social media set up if you want to follow us and just be up to date about our events. Next up, for our DSC members, let's learn about IEEE.
Hi, so my name is Vicente Trevino. I am the Professional Development Chair this year for IEEE. IEEE is essentially one of the largest double E organizations there is. We are the student branch for Texas A&M, and we just help with like setting up like helping with technical skills and professional development skills. We host a variety of events, so each week we usually have a corporate talk and we'll bring out companies like Dow, Viasat, and so on. And then we usually have like a biannual IEEE career fair. We also do tech workshops. Like I think this Thursday we actually have a Python workshop coming up. So yeah, and we also have a hackathon that will be next semester in the spring. So we usually have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of events for you to be interactive, meet the officers, and it's usually a really good environment.
Okay.
And then, yeah, and then this is just some of our socials, like our website, Snapchat, Slack. The one on the top right is the one for our newsletter link. So that didn't have anything. I just wanted to let y'all know if you want to get our weekly newsletters about the stuff that's going on, that's the one for it.
Awesome. Thank you. So, jumping right into resume review related stuff. So, first, you want to talk a little bit about the basic structure and layout for your resume. And this, like it says, it's very basic, but it's very traditional and it will never hurt you to stick to this. So, at the top, you should have your name and your contact information. You can include as much information as you want, but you should definitely have a professional or A&M email on there. Any important links like your personal website, GitHub, LinkedIn, anything you want to link should go on there as well. As a student, the most important section is education. So that should go at the top of your resume. And what you want to list there is your major, your degree, the university that you're attending, and what your GPA is. If you're a freshman, or I guess if you're in general engineering, you can list your intended major on there. And if this is your first semester and you don't yet have a GPA, then you can list first semester freshman. You can also use this section to list any relevant coursework that you might have. Like for some internships or some jobs, they require you to have taken certain classes in order to apply for them. And this is a great place for you to show that, hey, I have the relevant experience. The next section is technical or work experience. So if you have had any internships or part-time jobs or co-ops, then those will go in this section. And if you have any personal projects, and there's like a star next to that, so what that means is, so if you have a lot of internship and job experience and you think that your experience section is pretty well populated with those already, then you can have your personal projects be another section. But if you're a freshman or a sophomore and you haven't had any job experience but you've worked on some challenging, engaging projects, then those can definitely go into your experience section. The next section is about leadership or activities. If you're involved with any student organizations, if you have any leadership positions in any clubs, then you definitely want to list them there. And next, you can list your awards and honors, which is pretty self-explanatory. The next section is skills, and there's a star next to that as well. So this can go pretty much, I think, anywhere on your resume. Like if you have a lot of skills to mention, which are relevant to the position that you're applying to, they can go below your education. You can also list your skills above your awards and honors, or just have them at the bottom of your resume. So this is like the basic layout. For some formatting guidelines, you want to stick to one page. You're a student, there is no reason for your resume to be longer than one page. But since you're restricted to a page, that doesn't mean that you go crazy with the font size. So please keep it legible, 10-point minimum. I would say 11 if you can. Don't go too fancy with the fonts, because if when you apply online, your resume is scanned through ATS, and you want to make sure that it picks up on like the different sections and it's able to parse all the information correctly. So how do you check that? There's a bunch of tools out there. You can do a Google search. We have just listed one resource here, that's Resume Worded, and you can check that your resume is ATS compatible on this website or any other website that you like. You can also find some resume templates on Overleaf, resume.io, or GitHub. Again, these are hyperlinks. Don't worry, we'll be sending out the slides and then you can go to those links. and make sure you look at the templates. Another thing, so there should be no paragraphs on your resume. Everything that you elaborate on, whether it's your work experience or your leadership activities, those should be in bullet points and they should be extremely concise, preferably no longer than one line. And what you want to do with these bullet points is that for each point, you want to start with a different action verb. So, say if you have an experience A and you say that you created this, and you utilize this, and then you have experience B where you also created something, you don't want to use the keyword created again because you already used it above. So you can use something like developed or implemented. I don't know, there's like a bunch of words that you can look up online and just try to use different words. Another thing that's really important is to have a lot of, not a lot of it, like a bunch of numeric metrics on your resume because they can help quantify your impact. So when a recruiter or like when anyone in general is looking at your resume, there's like a bunch of text, but it's really easy to spot numbers and they quickly attract your attention. So how you can use numbers on your resume? So we provide two examples here. You can say that you utilized X technology to improve the efficiency of Y task by Z percentage. So there's the number. Or you can say that the product that you worked on resulted in a reduction of X dollars per year. So just try to add some numbers, but not just some crazy numbers, something that will actually be meaningful. Um, Things to remember. So don't exaggerate, right? When you're writing your resume, you think, oh, hey, I can list this as well, list that as well. But just remember that anything on your resume is fair game for interviews. If it's listed on there, be prepared to talk about it, be prepared to answer any questions about it. How can you make things easier for the recruiter? So you want to make sure that your resume is well structured because recruiters look at a bunch of resumes throughout their day. And you want to make sure that when they look at your resume, they can quickly find all the relevant information that they need to figure out whether you're a suitable candidate or not. And how you can do this is have like well structured sections, like we showed in the previous slide, with like proper headings so that people can find them easily. You want to use numbers because, again, they're easy to find. How do you make things easier for the automatic scanners? Again, this is going back to the ATS compatibility. What can help with this is breaking things up into sections and using clear traditional headings. So what I mean by that is if you have some work experience that you want to list, then you can simply have the heading be work experience instead of, I don't know, companies I've interned at, because that just doesn't make sense. So try to keep traditional because it will never hurt you. You want to add action words, like I mentioned, and you can also add skills for the role. So if in a particular internship or like a particular job you used XYZ technologies, you can list them in the description if you want. But just in general, try to make your resume unique and memorable for the recruiters because they look at so many resumes, they'll probably forget about yours after like 5 minutes. So you just want to make an impression and stand out however it's possible. Okay, some tips and tricks from us. So, fill your resume with technical skills and stats, which will flag you as highly skilled when passed through an ATS. Design your resume to help the recruiter. Keep it clean, simple, and easy to read. Be prepared to further detail the items listed on your resume when prompted to elaborate on your experience. So, those again are pretty self explanatory things I mentioned earlier. So, that is all that we had for the presentation. Again, you can go ahead and add yourself to the queue for the one-on-one resume review by scanning the QR code or going to that link. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.
Yeah. So just how this is going to work